It's the end of an era for readers of the Gazette newspaper. The final edition of the Gazette newspaper here in Montgomery County was published this week, and the loss of the community paper has saddened local leaders and area residents.
Historically, we've counted on National Public Radio and the Washington Post and WTOP and other outlets to give us the truth. And as those outlets disappear, it's going to be harder and harder to make wise and sound decisions. And in the absence of journalism, rascals thrive. I mean, individuals can get away with malfeasance and embezzlement and crimes if journalism is not there to hold them accountable. And the absence of the Gazette it's a terrible, terrible loss.
You have the Washington Post, you have Bethesda Magazine, then you have a bunch of online sources, and those are all really great sources of journalism. But something that I really liked about the Gazette was that it was about our community. It was our Montgomery County community. But so now we're losing that sort of uniting community thing, which is sad.
Not to have a centralized local news source is going to be a real problem for people who are trying to immerse themselves in what's going on in their area, whether they're invested in a local sports scene or they have a kid going to school around here. I just graduated from Wooten, and I got a lot of my local news from the Gazette. I read about local politics. I once submitted an op-ed, and it's a forum where educational issues were discussed, where people could learn about what's going on in the county, and I'm very disappointed by that.
I feel bad, because the Gazette has been around a long time, and most of the people around here depend on the Gazette. Yeah, I've been reading it for years.
I think it's sad. I mean, I think about the employees and people who have worked there, and then also just that, things aren't really on paper anymore, so it's just the way our lives are going nowadays.
County Executive Isaiah Leggett released a statement noting that the Gazette has been a vital source of information for our county's communities. He said his heart goes out to the Gazette employees affected by the closing. Many of you depended on the Gazette for county news. We want to remind you to tune into our cable programming more often and to visit the county's website. You can also find community news and information on the mymcmedia.org website.